Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and today we're going to be talking more DAX. Specifically, we're going to be talking pseudo recursive problems in DAX. So, Greg, what the heck is pseudo recursive problems? So basically, it's like fake recursion, or basically a problem that is framed up as being recursive, but you don't have to use recursion to solve the problem. Okay. So let's get into it. It's a pretty simple example. So this came out of the forum, out of a forum post, and it comes up from time to time in the forums, some version of this kind of problem. So what you have is you have a kind of a starting value, which is like 500, right? And then you have that's column A, and then you have column B, which is your decrementing, and you want a column C or a measure where you take the starting value, in this case 500, and then for every row, you decrement by the amount in column B, right? So in the first row, you'd have 480, and then the next row, you'd have 460, and then 440, and then 420. So you're probably, it seems like a recursive problem, and often it's framed up as recursive in terms of when the person asks the question. They're like, hey, I need to be able to subtract this, and then take that value, and then subtract the next one, and then take that value, and subtract the next one. And we all know that previous value, aka recursion, is pretty much, in terms of true recursion, DAX does not like it whatsoever. And believe me, I have tried to solve that problem over the years. But not every problem that seems like it's recursive technically has to be recursive or solved using recursion. So what you do in this case is what we need to do is we need to define something that gives us, what is previous or next or before, right? We need to be able to define that. So what we can do is in Power Query, we can create an index. In this case, I create an index from 1 to 4, right? And then here you have a column C, and then we can solve this in a non-recursive manner. So column C, and it's actually pretty simple, right? So basically what I do is I grab the index, of the current row, then I do a filter of, the table where the index is less than or equal to that index, and I sumx column B, right, over that filtered table. In this case, I'm doing a max of table column A because they're all the same. Otherwise, I could do like a max X or a min X where I filter the table to just index equals 1, right, to grab my starting value. And then at that point, it's just the starting value minus the sum of column B, right? Because I'm grabbing everything for every row. I'm grabbing every value of column B, including my row and previous to my row, adding them up and then subtracting them, right? So that gives me a non-recursive way to solve what would otherwise be framed up as a kind of a recursive problem. So there you have it. That's it. Pretty simple. You can also do it as a measure, right? What do you do as a measure? You just have to, I have no idea why Max is, why DAX thinks that is not invalid code, but it's not. It works. In fact, I can show that it works right there. It's working. But it's the same exact formula, more or less. You just have to wrap a max around your index to grab your current index value. Otherwise, it's exactly the same code. So there you have it. That is all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.